was selected for this particular shooting. But when you see so many officers, of course, that increases the suspect's odds for success of escaping if that is indeed the suspect's goal.
Well, sure. I mean, my dad left dentistry, even though he had another 10 years to work. He was most successful at that point, managing over 100 clinics. He left because of Obamacare, because it's impossible to even follow it. It's all just a scam meant for big multinational corporations to take control of everything. They're the only ones that can actually follow all the paperwork and the rest of it. And most seasoned doctors are leaving. And it's the same thing with police who really want to serve. It's so corrupt now. It's so out of control. They're such targets that they're just not policing anymore. They're either quitting or they're slow rolling, which is making the murder rate skyrocket, Jakari.
Well, I think that's what's referred to as the Ferguson effect. And you can talk about whether it's the chicken or the egg. Was it the people's response, or was it the officer's response that kind of caused that? And that's a debate that I don't think it's ever going to be officially resolved in the annals of history. But yes, we have seen officers being more cautious when they approach the scene. But sometimes that is a very good thing, because we definitely see like the young guy who got shot in the back by the officer. We're not here in Dallas, but got shot in the back by the officer, and the officer planted a weapon on him. You know, you also have those things.
Oh, absolutely. Look, the society's degenerating. There's a bunch of scum. And then the police department, too. Jakari, you're a smart guy. I mean, you know, I've seen you on air make a lot of predictions that have come true. What is your gut about this year? I mean, I think we're going to see more ISIS cells, more police shootings. It seems like the establishment, the media, is really trying to turn the heat up and exacerbate this as much as they can.
Well, we've seen a lot of terror attacks, I believe, in June alone. I can't recall the exact number, but it's an astronomical number, not just here in the States, but of people who were killed in terror attacks.
It's over 300 terror attacks this year so far.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's completely ridiculous. It's continuing to grow. As far as will we see more shootings like this, I can't say for sure. I definitely hope not. I hope also, you know, the ISIS attacks will stop. But to see so much of a running start that they got this year, if it continued, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, I know this. They need to take the gloves off. Look, if a white supremacist group is online saying, let's organize and kill, say, Hispanics, arrest them. You're not allowed to do that. But they're smart enough not to do that, because they would get arrested. They're not going after the Black Lives Matter people that are saying, kill Donald Trump, go after us, kill the cops. They need to be arrested, Jakari. I mean, if you're online organizing murder, they need to arrest these people and stop letting them organize.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the group is, because we see like groups on social media like ISIS. You know, they say, well, we have to keep ISIS on social media so we can track them. I'm like, well, okay, if you would track them and actually stop them before they do these attacks, maybe I could understand this more. But you're allowing them to grow on social media. Then you're blaming everybody who is not the actual trigger man for it, whether it's a society or it's Donald Trump or it's this guy or it's that guy. I'm like, what happened to blaming the guy who actually pulled the trigger? You can be mad at somebody without going out there and pulling a trigger.
Absolutely. Jakari Jackson, one more segment with you, then we're going to start opening the phones up and taking calls. I got a bunch of clips. I want to run through the news, and we're going to have my predictions of what I think is coming up specifically and how to stop this. Welcome back. I'm Alex Jones, your host. Bottom line, George Soros, the globalist, Obama, Hillary Clinton, they are behind this attack. I'm not going to sit back and watch their Justice Department, George Soros created basically communist detonator group, come out and do another group of cop killings and then blame the Second Amendment and blame free speech in this country. And then blame just local governments and local police across the board. That is the essence of totalitarianism, is to just blame whole groups of people. That's crazy. In fact, that's like racism against people in uniform. I mean, that's what racism is just mindless tribalism. I don't want the police treating me like I'm a criminal just because I'm a citizen. I get mad when they do that. That's a form of tribalism. But again, it's a plan to bring the country down. I want to get other angles from Jakari Jackson, our reporter in Dallas. I'm in Austin, Texas. But first, here is the police chief, again, getting into the motive of the man they talked to before they sent a robot in to kill him. This is Police Chief David Brown.
Now I want to share with you some of the comments from this suspect. The suspect said he was upset about Black Lives Matter. He said he was upset about the recent police shootings. The suspect said he was upset at white people. The suspect stated he wanted to kill white people, especially white officers. The suspect stated that we will eventually find the IEDs. The suspect stated he was not affiliated with any groups, and he stated that he did this alone.
But that's not true.
The suspect said other things that are part of this investigation so that we can make sure
that's good.
That everyone associated with this tragedy.
So for me, wow, there's bombs out there. We can't buy those at the store. And then on top of that, they send a robot in to kill him. A lot of unprecedented things happening here. Jakari, other angles.
Absolutely. To quickly recount the events, we also have an interview coming up with a young lady, an eyewitness, was out here last night when things unfolded. As the police chief was referencing right there, maybe some new information has come out, but I'm looking at this BBC article, and it says that 2 snipers had fired from an elevated position, some shooting officers in the back. So BBC is reporting at least 2 triggermen. Depending on which site you go to, which source you go to, I've seen as many as 6 people involved. It doesn't mean that all people had a gun in their hand, but they're saying that as many as 6 people could have been involved in some way. And the main suspect that was killed with the robot, as far as I know, this is the first time in Dallas that they've had to use a bomb robot to kill somebody. Micah X. Johnson, as he expressed there in the interview there, Alex, he had said resentment towards white people, towards white police officers. He saw this as some type of retribution, and he opened fire out here. Now, there's also another gentleman who was named as a suspect, but was later cleared by police officers because he was open carrying during the event. So after the shooting took place, he was encouraged by family members to go turn himself in. He surrendered his firearm to police officers, and after a talk with the man, they said that he was not a threat. But it's the danger of the social media, Alex, how this man was suspected, but a lot of people started to give him death threats after his name came up, after his image came up. So now he's having to deal with all that because of the very quick reaction of people who understandably wanted to get him off the street, but also put him in danger when they put out that information.
Well, the essence of an idiotic race war, or a civil war for that matter, is you just go after somebody because of what color uniform they have or where they live or what color they are. And that's why we don't need racist white people to go around and start shooting black people or vice versa. That's the same reason you just don't want to shoot cops because they're wearing a blue uniform. I mean, that's why you go after someone that actually does something to you, not just because someone is in a group. And I think the media, in the name of ending racism, has hyped us into this whole system where it's gone beyond that now. Everything is about color. And it seems like we've really gone backwards under Obama, Jakari. Do you agree with that, A? And B, do you think that was done by design?
As far as racial relations, I don't think they're any better under Obama. I definitely would not say that. I don't recall, granted, I'm probably more awake now than I was, back before 2008, but I don't recall racism on this level where it was so apparent every day, some new article, and not just racism, but whether it's sexism or some type of discrimination, whatever. It seems much more apparent now than it was prior to 2008.
Sure, exactly. Clearly, Obama and the media are just hyping the daylights out of this. What do you make of Google and Obama and people saying police need to reform, implying that it's their fault this happened? Because these are cops that got killed. We don't know what they did. We don't know they need to be reformed.
Well, I think with anything, this is something for the police to come out and say, well, this is why we need MRAP. This is why we need the heavy body armor, because we may have to deal with these types of situations. And when stuff like this happen, I can't really blame them so much for saying that they want that stuff. Not saying that I necessarily want them to use it in every situation. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be hype. It's going to continue to be hype. It's also the anti-gun angle. As you pointed out, the guy was saying that he had IEDs. Thus, to my knowledge, they have not recovered any IEDs in the area. But even if the guy did have one, like we've seen in other places around the world, you don't buy those at Cabela's. You don't buy those at Academy.
All right, great job, Jakari. More with you guys coming up to Infowars.com. We'll be back. We've got a guest on for like 10 minutes with us, and it is an important topic. It deals with the First Amendment. Then we're going to go to your phone calls. If you're in Dallas or a police officer or a citizen that wants to respond to what you're witnessing here, undoubtedly George Soros is trying to cause a civil war in the country, and now mainstream media admits that's where it's going, with Google and the president and everybody in the establishment saying, reform the police, it's your fault. If you would grovel better and if you were nicer, this would happen. And the main shooter, reportedly several dead and then someone else in custody, says that the end is here. This is the end of the world race war that MTV-funded hip-hop since the 80s has been saying is coming. As if the U.S. with 5% of the world population falling will end the world, or as if having a civil war is going to be good for anybody. It's just totally manufactured. A total diversion right into this election. 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. And if you are a police officer, you go to the head of the line to give us your take on this, or if you are a social justice warrior, Triggly-Puff, Black Lives Matter, whatever, I'd like to hear from you as well. 800-259-9231. Cleveland's coming up in about a week and a half. The RNC, I was going to put a couple flights a day, twice a day there, and then also coming up at the events in the DNC in Philadelphia. And I remember even saying, okay, we'll go out and talk to some of the biggest companies out there. And but I said, have a couple backups, because I think they'll refuse to even print our banner, Hillary for President. In fact, Buckley was asking for this last night. Has a big sheet, a big color printout of what the banner looks like. I was going to get it yesterday for a news clip I was going to do last night. I never got it, so I didn't do it then either. If I could have that, I would show people that on television right now and for radio listeners. But it's a big banner, Hillary for President 2016, very visible, not just a long, skinny banner to be towed by a plane, but the big, giant, fat ones. It's just huge. And we're going to fly that, because she's not above the law, around the RNC and the DNC. And we got a call yesterday, after I'd signed the contract on Monday, by Van Wagner Aerial Media, one of the biggest in the country, LLC. And I can show TV viewers a picture of the contract here. And I signed it. And they call it and they said, well, the owner of the company, the CEO, just doesn't want to be involved in this because there'll be political repercussions. And all I want to say is, let your chains set lightly upon you, like Patrick Henry said. Forget you were our countrymen and go from us in peace. Because cowards may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. And this is this climate of attacking free speech in this country. So the long-term weather forecast for a week and a half show it pretty clear out there. So I'm going to hire a couple companies, and we're going to try to double down. And I want to invite anybody else with aerial companies, put up your own banner, come, Hillary for President, or whatever your free speech message is. Imagine having 10 planes in the air at one time, going around over Cleveland or over the DNC. I mean, if you own an aerial company, I'm putting all the profits from Hillary for President shirts into this. I'm not even intending to take any profit this year. So far, I've not been paid anything. I am hiring new people, putting everything we've got into the fight for this country, because this country's in trouble. Globalists are trying to cause a civil war. And so I do have the sign. Thank you very much. Here it is for TV viewers. This is the demo we sent them weeks ago. This is what we were paying for. And then now it's almost too late to print it at this giant size, something like 50 by something, one of the biggest banners they can make. It's humongoid. We can still make them almost as big. I got to sign contracts today. Certainly to make the RNC. I think the DNC is even more important. So it's Hillary for President 2016, Infowars.com. That's the banner. And then they wait over a week, because they had the banners a week and a half ago. And then they wait, and then, oh, sorry, we can't do that. But that's fine. That's fine. Listen, go move to North Korea. I bet Kim Jong-un would like him. He can play basketball with him. Van Wagner Aerial Media. And we first went to them to look into blimps, but those are way too expensive. In fact, they're one of the main blimp companies. Now, joining us to talk about this, and we'll obviously have him on while it's all happening. He's going to be out there. I hope he'll work with us, just to organize this. But maybe I should start a fundraising drive and try to put 5-10 planes in the air at once. Imagine that. Because this is the type of stunt in front of the world media that can have a big effect. That's why they're afraid of it. Justin Wayne, flysigns.com, just started working for banner operations in '89 and started making the banner equipment for worldwide distribution in '92. He has multiple production facilities in both the U.S. and Mexico, making aerial billboards and banner equipment. He is currently one of the biggest banner towing operators in the USA, with access to over 120 airplanes nationwide, and currently service every U.S. city. So maybe he can honcho a plan for us, because they tried to censor us. I almost want to just put like 10 times, but I just don't have the money. So, folks, go to InfoWarsStore.com, buy a bunch of Hillary for President shirts, at least have those on the ground. But Justin even predicted to us yesterday who we were using and who had refused to do business with us after stringing us along. So, wow, refusal of service. You know, you can sue people if you want a gay wedding cake.